Hi, how are you? Just gonna see if I can get this on my phone. Let's see. All right. Just in case any of you are up and join me live, I can see if there's any comments. So I'm Stephanie Butler, and I'm so happy to be here in Unapologetically Happy Women's Group. This week I'm going live on self confidence. This was the topic that was chosen most in the poll, and I think it's a pretty important topic. I think sometimes we believe we have to be someone different or show up a certain way um, to exude self confidence. When really we just need to be ourselves and do it terrified. um, so, self confidence. If you're here live, say hello in the comments. And if you're on the replay, put hashtag replay so I know you were here. So, self confidence is our belief in our ability to handle life. It's not about having like all the answers and knowing what to do all the time. It's about trusting we're going to figure it out. And part of that could look like asking for help, talking to people who know more about certain subjects than we do, so we can figure it out. That's the self confidence. Um, and being self confident doesn't mean that you're loud and extroverted, um, that you can do things perfectly without any fear, and that it's not something that you're either born with it or without it. Everyone can have self confidence. So for me, here's a perfect example going live. I can remember the first time I had to go live, and it was a few years back, and I was sweating and I was like shaking. If you've never gone live before, there's like a button that says go live, and then it counts you down for 3 seconds, and then you're on live. The whole process was just like terrifying. I said like and way more than I do now. See, I do it anyhow. It's uncomfortable. It's not my natural state, but I'm called to do this. I like to help people and I like to share information and engage with you, get to know you. So that's what I needed to do. Yeah, so here I do my lives, not perfect, not, the best grammar, all the things. I just show up as me. And so that's what self-confidence is. It's just showing up as you and figuring it out as you go. That's all it is. And why we struggle with confidence or think we don't have confidence is we're in that good girl era. Like, be a good girl, and good girls are quiet. You don't want to speak up, right? I just don't buy into that anymore. It's been years that I bought into that BS. Um, we also are in a social media world where all we do is compare and compare to people's highlight reels. Well, I'm not going to show all my bumps and bruises. I'll share them and I'll talk about them because that's just who I am. But most people on social media don't. They're just showing you like the good stuff. And so you're comparing, and it's like, I'm not measuring up feeling. And then we have that fear of judgment and fear of failure. I do my lives live, and how they go, they go. I cannot think about it beyond the fact of when I've done the live because it will drive me insane. I'll be like, I shouldn't have said that. I could have added this, blah, blah, blah. Like I could just pick it all apart. I don't rewatch them. I just do them. And, and that works. So we're in a society that is, um, that tells us that our worth is tied to our performance, where self confidence, it needs to come from within. So, knowing that you're worthy. If you woke up this morning and you got out of bed, you got out of bed worthy. If you're sitting here watching this live, you're watching this live and you're worthy. We're all worthy. We were born worthy. We continue to be worthy until we're no longer in these spacesuits on Earth. Okay? And so that is what we need to work on, and that belief. Um, and there's 3 ways I'm going to share of how we can do that. They're not easy, they take time and practice, but it is helpful. So, one is celebrating our small wins and large wins, but looking at the small ones as well. We need to embrace them. Where have I shown up? Where did I speak up? Where have I kept trying? Even though maybe I'm not getting the results, or it's not unfolding the way that I want, but I keep trying and I keep trying. For me, it's watercolor paint right now. Like, I'm such a beginner, and I just keep trying. I keep showing up. So I celebrate that small win. It boosts my self confidence. Like, I know I'll figure this out and I can show up for me. Another way is using self compassion. I know I always come back to self compassion because that's my jam, but it's the truth. Yeah, so self compassion, learning to speak to yourself like you would a good friend, not like the inner critic. We all have that inner critic. Give it a break. Give that inner critic a break once in a while and tell it, yeah, nice try, but, and then talk to yourself compassionately. And the last I've already alluded to is do things even when you're scared. Moving with fear, proving that you can handle it. So if I show up scared and I do my live scared, that's okay. I'm proving that I'm figuring this out. It's building my self confidence. And it doesn't matter if they're big things or small things. If you're scared and you still do it, like, that's celebrate that win. It's all relative to you. Okay? And we need to embrace who we are already. Every day, see where you've showed up for yourself. Maybe, we have gratitude journals and we practice that on a daily basis. Maybe it's looking at where did I show up for me today and celebrating that. So I will challenge you, as I always do, to choose one thing that you can do this week to build your confidence. Something that maybe you've been putting off because you're terrified. You can ask for help and get support to do it, but you're still doing it. Um, yeah, so just choose one thing that you can do. Celebrating a win, being more mindful of your inner critic and inner dialogue and changing that, doing something that you've been telling yourself, no, we're not doing that because that's terrifying and I won't show up perfectly. Well, we're here to show up in growth. Nobody's perfect, never will be. We can aim for that, but we'll never achieve it. So, yeah, so see where you can show up this week for yourself to remind you that you're building your self confidence on a daily basis. Well, I hope that helps you with self confidence and that kind of covered the subject. And then I also wanted to welcome you. We have 2 more days left to join my Shine coaching program. So if you want any information, just direct message me and we can chit chat. Yeah, that's starting next week. Woo woo. I'm so excited for it. Anyhow, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next week or two on the next topic. Take care. Bye.